Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it looks like a lot of white people are beginning to wake up because you all already heard that homelessness is going to be a crime. If you are homeless, you are going to prison or jail, whichever one it is. I mean, they are sending you there, and you know what that means? You are going to be working for the government and making money for the government, cheap labor. So now, popular people already now remember that slavery never went away. You all know black people have been screaming that slavery never left, that it's just evolved and all that. And sincerely speaking, we all can see it. Black people can see it, that it never, like it's been there on the ground, not even on the ground, it's just been there. You know, we see it every day, but probably some of them they refuse to recognize it, but now it is hitting them right now, and they are beginning to know that I mean, slavery is still ongoing and all that. And now let me tell you something. With everything going on, with all this they are saying and slavery and all that, now they are still going to vote blue no matter who, because this has always been their slogan. Don't ask about whatever who is going to, just as long as it's blue, just vote it. They are still going to make mistake and come back in the end to call black people to tell them to fix what's the mess that you see this time around. Everybody is going to be stuck in that mess.
So the Supreme Court's about to rule on whether or not they can throw you in prison for being homeless and sleeping on the street. Now, in a country where slavery is still legal, as long as it's for the punishment of a crime, and a country where the cost of housing has, over doubled in the last year, so it's getting too expensive for you to be able to afford a house. And the Supreme Court's probably about to say that they can throw you in prison for an undetermined amount of time for not having a house, and then they can use you for slave labor once you're in the prison for not having a house. Anybody else starting to think that this whole thing is just starting to be a system to throw you in prison and turn you into a forced labor machine until you die? Because kind of seems like where the whole thing's going, doesn't it? So the Supreme Court's about to rule on whether or not they can throw you.
So the people that think that homeless people are, just the issue in society, that do you have enough knowledge and enough power to go live on the streets or in the woods, for that matter? Are you that tough? No, you're not. You're a weak ass. And you need to look at it as these people like to be free roaming. A cat has more fucking rights than a human being at that point. It shouldn't be that fucking way. If I want to go out and, just pass out in the fucking woods, or, if that's the way I chose to live, I mean, personally, I like having an apartment. I like having a place for me to do shit, like set up a lab or, I mean, that's me. But some people like just being free roaming. Most of the homeless people I know, motherfucker has $20,000 in his pocket and he pushes up a cart and lives along the Potomac River on the trail. Okay? And I hate to put that out there, out of his safety, but dude has more money in his fucking pocket than you do, and you fucking sit there and try to despise him for being homeless. He got more money than you, He only buys what he needs, and have you ever went hiking and just, do you have that power to survive? No, you don't. And that's what fucking being homeless is about. When it makes having a home that much better when you end up getting a home, I despise people like that, man. Go engage with people that are homeless. They're not that bad. Actually, they're pretty smart, and most of the time it is choice. It is choice for them. They don't want a house. They don't want to be like you. They're not better for being like you. Look at you. You wouldn't survive if an EMP hit the fucking world right now. If the blue started falling off the sky, you would not survive. Look at what I'm enduring, you know? I think I'd have easier time breathing. I don't, as you know, like I'd probably be the last person still breathing, but that's because of being attacked with electromagnetic weapons. You know, you're soaking the oxygen out of the atmosphere with electromagnetic radiation, and I'm forced. I live with those frequencies blasting me, and have for quite some time. You know, you guys really need to do the math on these things. What's wrong with homeless people? It's beautiful. It's culture. You know, there should be designated areas for, you know, if you want to live in fucking Disneyland, you don't even want to see graphic content on social media because you're too pussified. You know, that's the issue. And you're being mind controlled to be like that, and that enables further control of your mind. And you don't see that, you know?
So the Supreme Court's about to rule on whether or not they can throw.
I think the Supreme Court should throw these mortgage companies to prison because they're overpopulating with the prices. They're, especially with the sale. When you move into a house, and I'm gonna tell anybody, you're gonna end up paying more money towards that house. Especially if you live in New York or any, if it's not even if it's a new brandly built house, don't let that cosmetic and all that stuff fool you. 9 tenths of the time, you're going to have to end up putting money to fix the roof, fix the plumbing, fix the this, and see, because most of these houses are old. That's number one. Number two, if the Supreme Court rules for people to be homeless, the government should be going to jail. First of all, they allow these companies to monopolize other companies. They allow these companies to basically not pay taxes. They allow foreigners that own companies to not pay taxes. And 9 tenths of the time, when you look at them, you want to know where they get their money from. And 9 tenths of the time, they doing underground work in order to get their money. Not anybody is really inheriting money the right legitimate way. You got to be honest. And then the way they bamboozling people that own houses, they need to put people in jail for over putting people in rent. First of all, America is supposed to be a place where there is opportunity. How come they have homeless people that are working and they don't have no place? It is time for them to try to lower not only the interest rate for homes, but they need to have a control with the rent. No one in their rightful mind can afford a $5,000 rent or even a $5,000 mortgage when you're under minimum wage. It's absurd. They're the ones that's going up on all these prices. And you know something? We're going to end up going twice as worse what happened in 2005 when these mortgages went up and kept on playing around with the interest rate and stuff like that, and people couldn't afford it and people end up becoming homeless. And the same thing with landlord and tenant situation too. So you want to put people in jail because you want to invest into jails because you see some empty jail cells. So you going to jail because you're homeless. Make that make sense. You didn't commit a crime. You didn't steal from anybody. You didn't set anybody up, but you're going to jail because you're homeless. Because you live in an economy that has been robbing and bamboozling you all these years. You've been working, being legitimate, paying your taxes, even if you don't have no shelter. But you're going to go to jail. Like I said, and then you see people that's immigrants are trying to come over here. And obviously they know that the grass is not greener. Wow.
Throw you in prison and turn you into a forced labor machine until you die.
I recently discovered that I cannot even do work in exchange for space. It has something to do with that there's still money involved and work towards the system to benefit a greater system. And boy, is it a problem. But I just cannot shake the feeling of indentured servitude. And so I'm trying to work around that to still survive in the throes of winter in Chicago. Getting my heat fixed hopefully today. By heat fixed, I mean my camping stove fireproofed, maybe my engine heater fixed.
So the Supreme Court's about to rule on whether or not they can throw you in.
All right, just the simple fact that this is even in our Supreme Court, yeah, kind of makes you wonder if this is actually a free country. Then you can throw in the whole COVID thing, and which was likely manufactured, right? And resulted in so many people losing their livelihoods and losing their homes, right? And then let's throw in targeting. And one of the main goals of targeting is to try to make people homeless, all right? So if they succeed, they could just round you up for not having a home. And whose fault is it? Yeah, tell me again how free we are.
So this is all I got from this video. And now let's talk about something. He was like, that slavery never went away. Now, why is he saying that slavery never went away? It's because this is now, it is getting to them right now. Black people have been screaming about life and all that and how things are going, and nobody cared to listen and all that. But now it is like hitting everybody left, right, back. And they are now beginning to know that slavery never went away, that it only evolved. And that is what it is. And the reality is that if this passes, and trust me, a lot of people are going to be in prison or jail or whichever one they call it and all that. But then let's talk about something. Now that this is happening, a lot of people have been on who are we voting for. Some are saying we are voting for Biden, we are voting for MAGA. Always, palm color people are always like vote blue no matter who and all that. Now let's talk about this. With all this going on, trust me, everybody will still vote against their own interest. This is something I am telling you the reality. They are still going to vote against their own interest. With everything hitting on them, they can see what has been going on and all that. And homelessness is, you all already know as it stands, a lot of people cannot even afford to live. Rents are skyrocketing every minute, every time, and all that. It is hard. We all know that it's hard everywhere, inflation and all that. But it is really hard in the United States, right? And with all this going on, a lot of people are suffering. Now, if they make homelessness, it is more like being poor is a crime, right? So everybody is like looking for a way out and all that. Trust me, they are still going to vote blue because it's been written that vote the blue no matter who. And then come back in the end to call black people, to tell black people that you all know that we messed up because you all always mess up, right? Tell black people that they messed up and can you all come and clean. See, this time around, I don't think anybody is going to clean anybody's mess. Everybody's going to be in that mess as long as it is going to stay. Because if we all cannot see clearly the handwriting that is on the wall, what else do you want me, or what else do you need to know that some things are not like, this is not supposed to be, man. This person cannot be our president. This person can be our president, right? So, yeah, you all choose wisely who is going to be there for you for the next how many years and all that. I want you to also remember that homelessness is about to be a crime. So for those that are agitating vote blue no matter who, I want you to know that you are going to be homeless and you are going to be in prison. And when you are in prison or jail, whichever one, you are going to be working and making money for the government because that is what they want. And it looks like there are so many empty jails and all that, and they are looking for a way to put innocent people in there. Why? Just because you are poor. I mean, that really sounds ridiculous. Don't you think so? See you all in my next video. Bye for now.